Greetings. I've made a video before mentioning this, throwing it out there. There's one thing I just noticed right now. Just random thought, checked something. The 8-1 thing came up to my mind, so I went on YouTube and went with Kobe with, his 81 points was the highest ever. 8-1. Kobe and 8 others on the helicopter. And you know what's really scary? He scored 81 points on January 22nd, 2006. Take out the zeros, you got 22 and 26. 2 and 6 is 8. And then he, dies in a helicopter crash, so-called. A cartoon 3 years before it happened shows this happening. Cartoon with Kobe dying, blowing up or something, before it happens. That exists. 4 years before it happened also, there's a Kobe's Not Dead, but just his career with candlesticks and death everywhere. And Kobe ADs, which is the 13th, it would have been the 13th shoe if he kept the number line. 13-year-old daughter on the helicopter. 13's rebellion, Satan's number. But this one is a little new. Besides 8 and 24, and 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 and 8, you got 88. Everything. Just taking the numbers and it's just an inversion of everything. 8 and 24. What are the odds that that's the 2 numbers for the first half of the court violation, and then the 24 seconds to finish in the second half of court, which is second jersey number? And there's like a bunch of other things too, the numbers. Way more things adding up and lining up like that. But one I just noticed, missed it somehow. His 81 points in 2006 is January 22nd, 2006. At least on the YouTube video it showed this. I didn't confirm it. I'm assuming the YouTube video with the date is right, but if it's wrong, okay, we'll scratch it. But going off of that, I see 22, January's 1, so 122. 2006, the zeros are nothing, you have 26. I Google when he dies, supposedly in the helicopter crash, and it's January 26. There's your 26. 2020, take out the zeros, and it's 22. It's swapped. See that? When he scored 81 points, 8 others besides him on the helicopter. And that adds up to 9, which is 6 inverted, Satan's number. Number of man inverted, Satan, rock star, backwards R's, it's all satanic. Inverting, reversing. 8 and 1. He scored 81. What's the odds that's his greatest game? So I already seen things before and I brought it up some time back, but this is just another confirmation. I don't know how it's done. I don't understand it. I can't figure it out because there's no way it's a coincidence. 8 and 1, and there's more 8 and 1s, but I even forgot all the things I've seen already. There's more 8 and 1s with the numbers. Throwing LeBron James, and the only reason I have had any interest in this is because of that connection with Corona and all these things. And it gets even messier and deeper with the numbers, LeBron King James overthrowing the previous king of the Lakers, and they're going to win a three-peat, I believe. It's because LeBron's going to get 6 championships, just like Michael Jordan, 6'6". Right at the top of the greatest ever, overthrowing Kobe. Just not quite up there on that level with 5 championships and whatever. He's got a crown on. He has a crown on his tattoo on his upper arm. Kobe. Corona means crown on Spanish, and that's the Corona bottle has a crown. What are the odds that he has a crown, king, and then as soon as he vanishes, the Lakers win with LeBron on that team. He came on 2018, I think. There's your 1-8 there. And then wins. First team to win after he vanishes. And I believe they're going to win at least 2 in a row, but probably 3. That's what I believe is just seeing the numbers. I don't know. Oh, man. It's weird. I don't know if the people do this on purpose, like this is all planned and they know this, or are we just seeing things that are just going to manifest, but they're not necessarily trying to do this all on purpose, Just really strange. I can't figure it out. It's like 9/11. That's a hard one too, because it's so obvious to me. Years of planes hitting those towers and movies and TV shows, you could look into it. And then it happens, and then 911 is significant, and we can get into the numbers on 911. I'm sure 2001 is also, but just with the numbers, how do they pull off something so grand with everything lining up so good, or is it just the devil working in everyone, sort of like a miracle, like the timing, instead of like our creator working in us with ultimately he's in charge of everything. And the masses will always buy whatever it is. If it's not truth, they'll just buy whatever the alternative meaning is every single time. Corona, put masks on, they'll do it. Get a gun and shoot yourself, it's like everyone's going to do it. It's like they don't care, and then they go around saying the people have the power. They don't have any power. There's no power. And all Satan's kingdoms have ever done is go to war and kill each other. So if people call that good and power, I don't. What's coming for sure is a lot of destruction if it keeps getting more wicked. And so far it is every single day, every year. Deeper, darker things and deceptions and perversion. I don't have Corona figured out, but I don't try to because it's just too deep, And how is it connected to games? I don't know. I don't know why it's connected to basketball and probably some other sports. With the crown thing, king, they're gods. They're the gods of the world. They're idols. They say it all the time. Oh, he's my idol. Yeah. You shall have no other gods, no other idols, no idols. Every single person in the world has other gods before them, whether they admit it or not. I've gotten to that point to see that. I don't care what they say. They're always going to deny it most of the time. Even after they call their man they worship God, they're going to still deny it, And goat, greatest of all time, goat, They just can't help it, can they? I read that in scriptures, goats. And that's what they call the greatest of all time. Devils, goats, Baphomets. Wicked people that get away with raping people and killing and sacrifice, and who knows what they get away with because of their fame and money. Just pay someone off who wouldn't take millions of dollars, and then, okay, deal. No problem. You just fixed my life. Of course, it's not fixed. It goes into deeper destruction, as every single person that makes so much money that quickly goes into. That's another thing I've seen too. People love money. It's the mark of the beast. They just lust and drool for money. It's in their heart. Even just to scrape every little dollar, they'll do the most crazy things to just scrape every dollar. They just don't have any faith in our creator at all. That's why you cannot love money and our creator at the same time, and everyone in the world, in the church world, is going to deny they love money. They're all liars, every one of them. If they're yet carnal, you can't stop loving money. It's a joke. You can't stop lusting. You can't stop sinning if he doesn't give you the power and his spirit to stop you from sinning and doing these things. It's a teaching you'll never hear in the church world. It's all about self and being able to do these things yourself. That's it. If Messiah could do it himself, he wouldn't have denied himself. It's not possible. If the Father's not in us, we're sinning every day, never repenting of it, period. Now, most people can't even see their sins. That's the problem. And they won't acknowledge them, which is exactly what I read that they'll do. They can't do that. While they think they have free will and that they're God in their own mind, they are in delusion, being told that they can't do these things, and they can't, and then they still say they have free will. And some of them teach no free will, and they would do these things if confronted, and they'll still teach no free will, even though they don't believe it themselves or live it. It's amazing. Adultery is one of the things mentioned all the time. Lust, adultery, that sexual lust. Most of these ministers on YouTube, they can't overcome that if they're carnal still. They can't. They just have to hide their sins and say, I'm not that bad of a sinner. The exact opposite of saying I'm a wretched sinner that can't stop sinning. I'm not that bad. And it's not to blame them. It's just a denial. That's it. Deny it. They won't do it. They can't do that thing. And people think it crazy when you're not committing adultery, in your mind and heart all the time and lusting. They think you're from another planet or something, which doesn't even exist. Think it real strange, that you don't go along with everyone's sexual jokes from the heart, and they test you. I've been tested, and they do weird, strange things, man. They can't control themselves. Strange signs, strange words coming out of their mouth, just to like, what's wrong with this guy? He's like not going along with the game. Can't be that he actually is overcoming lust. No, it can't be. So I'll keep testing him because he's my friend. Something a friend would never do if he was an actual friend. So January 22nd, I don't know how it's done. I know it's not a coincidence. 8-1. 8-1. 8 and Kobe 9 on the helicopter, and that's his greatest game he ever had. 8-1. That would be enough for me, but it doesn't stop there. January 22, 2006. Take out the zeros. It's 22 first and 26. Then he dies on January 26 first. Take out the zeros, 2020, and it's 22. Someone tell me that it's a coincidence. And that's 8-1 also. It's insane, isn't it? See, I'd have a hard time believing that that basketball player was thinking about the helicopter crash when he was playing that game. Did he purposely do that? Are they so good that they could just score whatever number they want and everything's just an act? Because if it is, they sure act pretty good. I don't think it's like that, micro like that. I don't think so. I don't think anybody could be that good of an actor 24/7, but I don't know. Where were all the people checking out that, people watch that cartoon and nobody thinks of it? I didn't hear of it till after the fact. 3 years, before it happened. So 2017, and that's a significant number too. That's what he averaged in his last year, 17 something points. With his 5 rings, he blows up and they like move away from the helicopter, and that's it. 3 years before it happened, and then it happens exactly like that. Did he know about it? I wish somebody could just give me a direct answer, the truth on these things, but I don't know if we ever get those kind of answers because it's just diving into darkness is all. Like, oh, I'm watching this cartoon 3 years and I'm like, oh, that's me in 3 years. I don't think so. I don't think that's happening. And people don't want to die, so I don't think it's a suicide mission. I think it's a hoax. And everybody's just actors, just fake crying, giving themselves some kind of chemicals, or maybe they really won't see him ever again. The snake shed his skin, did some plastic surgery, some makeup, and left town, and they'll never see him again. He's dead for them, so maybe they are. That's truly sad. Too many things going on. Black Mamba's a serpent. That's what it is. Black Mamba's a snake. They're telling you, man, they're right in your face. It's like the devil can't hide. There's always signs. He's a serpent. But masquerades as an angel of light, right? On the court and after with business and everything. Such a good guy. But in the darkness, raping and who knows what's going on, Only at some of these times, these hiccups where they get caught doing it and they weren't supposed to get caught. Because nobody could stop their crazy lust, especially if you have that much destruction and that much fame and money. It's sin out of control, but that's what they want to hide. That's what they want to hide. They literally are slaves to sin. They can't hide and stop it. They're not saints. They're in sin every day. But behind the camera, it's a different man, different story. Pretending they care, pretending this, pretending that. It's sick. It's just like the Roman Colosseum or whatever you call it, people killing each other, fighting, throwing them to the lions or whatever, and everybody's watching and cheering. This is the modern version of it. Nothing changed. People are beasts, watching beasts compete against each other, and it's just getting more and more brutal and ruthless, We got the Don Prestons of the world saying this world's getting better and better with their kingdoms. It's just so disgusting, man. So prideful. Better and better with my kingdoms and my books. They can't see the darkness that we're starting to see because they're literally blinded from it. They think they're good people. They can't see the secret things going on in the heart and in the darkness, but on the outside, it's not looking so bad all the time. The world. And even then, it's bad because, the news is constantly negative and everything. The TV's just a sorcery box machine that, like, okay, we want to brainwash the people in this direction. Okay, this is what we do, and it's done. It's funny because the ministers of the world could say that, and they themselves are blinded. Teaching the most wicked doctrines of demons that someone could come up with, they themselves do that. Hopelessness and death for all eternity. That's their gospel, death. If you're good enough and do enough good works and choose the right gods, you'll go to heaven. See, and then they go and preach grace, saved by grace. Lying liars, man. They don't believe a single thing they say. It's just trickery and serpent snake trickery. That's all it is. It's a giant smoke screen sorcery and trickery. They don't believe grace. The very reason they go to heaven, and this is the reason, is because they did good things and chose good things and did good works and chose their God and everything. It's not grace. You tell them that you tell them the truth that Messiah chooses his disciples and never the other way around, and they'll get angry at you because they don't believe that. Once you see this, why would anyone have anything to do with that darkness and lies? I don't know. Whole world's deceived. Satan deceives the whole world. Was deceived 500 years ago, was deceived 2,000 years ago, was deceived when the Romans existed, was deceived when Egypt existed. It's deceived now, and it's just waxing worse and worse. It's pretty obvious to me it's waxing worse and worse too. But that's all I got. I'm gonna try not to even think about it too much more because it's just too much with the numbers and stuff. 22 and 26. It just flipped around. That's all. The year and the day is just flipped. That's all. And that was 14 years in advance. 14 years, and 1 plus 4 is 5 championships. I don't know. There's just too many coincidences. How could someone do something that 14 years in advance? And you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, does someone sit there and, oh, we're writing down a plan for 30 years in advance? I don't think people can do that concerning this kind of power. People are delusional. They're not smart. The wisdom of this world is foolishness. So it's like the power of Satan that does all these works. But it is Satan who deceives the whole world. So those that are under his influence and that's their father, then he does the works in them. That's all I got on this one. Peace, take care, seek truth.